Hello, hello, hello.
Hi, Ozzie.
Hi, good to see you.
Good to
Good
see
to
you
see
too.
you. And I just want to let our audience know, welcome to the Healing Room, a place where art meets healing. Every story matters and every journey begins with a single breath. So this is about the beginning, the partnership, the experience, the impact, and the future. So what do you have to say to that?
I love it all. Let's go. Let's roll.
So I'll ask the first question. So this is going to be a little bit different than what I usually do, where I'm usually the one asking the question and the answers are given by my guests. So we're going to do a one-off. So the first
Right.
thing is, and before we talk about Warsaw, can you take us back to the beginning? What first inspired Wonder Woman Now? And what was the moment you realized that art could become a place for healing rather than simply observation?
So first question, how much time do you have?
Well, we got half an hour already. I've got 10 questions, but
Okay.
Mhm.
So I will try to make it simple. I would say when I moved to the United States in 2015, I was really impressed by what is going on with the sense of community, people helping each other. And I wanted to do something too. So I contacted some shelters to say, hey, I have a great idea. What about doing a tiny house to, to have women who are on the street live inside a tiny house? And I remember at the time I met with the executive director of Transition House in Cambridge, near Boston. And she was listening, while I was presenting my ideas, and she said, "There's a lot of ideas that I like, but the tiny house, it's really a bad idea." And then she began to explain me that basically a lot of homeless women are survivors of domestic violence. So right away, I was like, okay, forget about the tiny house. That's really a bad idea. I didn't know. So we developed a collaboration. I began to do art workshops in the shelter. We had a wonderful exhibition at the French Library in Boston with art made by survivors of domestic violence. And then, like interacting with them, talking with them, also going to workshops organized by the shelter to educate me about, what is domestic violence. First, I was absolutely, impressed and grateful. And I thought that all these women are Wonder Women because,
Mhm.
they left everything with, usually, sometimes with, one child in one hand and one plastic bag in the other with, few belongings. So I was like, oh my gosh, I could never do that. That was
Mhm.
my view at the time. So I was like, okay, I have an idea. Let's do a photo shoot. You will be, photographed with masks, of course, to hide their identity, with different fabrics from all around the world,
Mhm.
from Asia, from Africa, from Europe, and then have fun, ladies. So it ended up with a wonderful series, a photography series where they stand very, very proud, very fierce. And for me, it was amazing to see the transformation before and after the photo shoot.
Mhm.
So that was like the evolution of the project. And then during COVID, I began to talk with 100 people to say, hey, I want to see in which direction this project should go. And it expanded into an art exhibition that toured around Boston. It was in Boston at the Boston Convention Center. It was in Cambridge. It was in Lowell. And for this show, I invited a lot of artists from all around the world, which was amazing, so that we could have photography, painting, installation, poetry, performance, theater, song, everything. Because the idea of the show is to present an exhibition under the symbolic form of a house. So you go from one room to the other, you go from the most public space to the most private space, and basically you go from the space where the abuse is more subtle to the space where the abuse is more like outrageous. But of course, there's a room of your own at the end, and there is a healing room now, thanks to collaboration.
Yes.
So that's more or less how it evolved, and now it's becoming an international platform with with the show in Warsaw, with the launch of the healing room that we developed together, with this podcast series, and with new ideas and collaborations that are coming up. So the first, like I would say, modified version of the show, which is in Europe, it's a solo show, it's not a group show. Basically, the opening is Friday, July 10.
Right next week, 1 week from today.
Yes.
Oh, excited?
Excited because I lived in Warsaw for 18 years.
Yeah.
So I will see a lot of friends. Excited because it's the biggest show I ever done. Excited because I like to see, when you have something in your head and you see it, but then you want to implement it, that's what I want to see. So I'm excited about seeing it, like in a tangible form.
Yes.
For now, it's here.
When we first met and began talking about Beyond the Call and the healing room, what made you feel that our missions belonged together?
That's a good question. I think that, your experience, your mission, your vision with Beyond the Call, your experiences in general, and was like, I felt that we were so aligned. And it was a discovery because it wasn't like, hey, what are your values, Ozzie? Hey, what are your values, Anne? It was just like such a natural flowing conversation and just back and forth. And I don't know, I felt that we are like aligned with our mission, helping others. Helping to bring healing to more and more and more people. There's a genuine kindness, compassion, and generosity in you. And I think that's
the same way I feel about you. I remember our conversation when I first landed in Guyana, and the second day was the one day I had off for the entire trip. And that was in February. And we had a conversation, and I thought the conversation would just be about, couple of minutes, and it ended up being like an hour and a half. And from then on, it has been a wonderful, really wonderful, in-depth exploration for me in terms of feelings, in terms of ideas, alignment, as you said. We spent weeks creating the healing room experience, including the audio journeys that visitors would hear in Warsaw. What did you hope people would feel when they put on the headphones and simply pause, take a breath?
With the show, until now, I was very involved physically. And I could see that, like it was quite amazing because I created connection with people. So, they look at the show, they look at the artworks. The process is that usually at the end, I invite all of them to sit on chairs or sofa, whatever is, at the show. They listen to testimonies and then we talk. So I saw like the openness, the connection, the surprise, the authenticity of discussions. But they left of course, they left transformed. but I think they left the show deeply in shock.
Mm.
And I was like, I want to, there's an arc in the emotions that you can feel during the show when you see it. And I want to find a way of like, it was strong. Okay, let's come back. Let's acknowledge the emotions that you encountered, and it's okay to feel these emotions. So, your idea of bringing meditation into the space, recording these meditations, your voice is so peaceful. It's like, I remember the first time, we listened together, and I was like, oh gosh, okay, I'm relaxing right now. It was great. So just remembering this experience, I'm like, this was the part that was missing with the show, creating something that allows people to have some embodiment, to come back to themselves, to take the time to sit with the emotions, to be grateful, to acknowledge them, to feel their body, and to live actually full, in one piece. So I'm honestly grateful that, like our collaboration is bringing a lot of new ideas. I can't wait to see all the new other ideas that we won't talk about today. But I think it goes really to the right direction, and it opens up the space to more people to experience. Because, for example, not everyone goes to galleries, to museums. Not everyone is interested by art.
Right.
So between the meditation, the healing space during the show, and the podcast, it just opens up possibilities, for people to understand that art is something that is absolutely necessary for us humans to go deep into our creativity, but also to relax, to come back to ourselves. Just to give you an example, there are studies that have been done at Harvard showing that after 45 minutes of doing an artistic activity, it can be painting, it can be singing, dancing, sculpting, whatever, your cortisol level is decreasing. So it has real benefits for the health. And you even have now doctors who are prescribing, hey, here's your art therapy, or art activity prescription, which is amazing, but people don't know about it. Yeah. So I think, it's important to show that art is for everyone.
Right. Yes. Do you have any questions you want to ask me at this point? I have a couple more to ask you, but
I'm like, actually, I was super curious. You answered a little bit, but what made you say yes to Wonder Women now?
From the first conversation, I don't like staying on the phone a long time. And from that first time going from what I expected to be a short conversation to an hour and a half, and we spoke about so many different things. I wanted to get to know you more.
Okay.
And that was the first thing. And then when I've learned about what you were doing, the alignment was so strong. And then to be able to speak to the healing portion of it, and you bringing that into what you're doing, that said to me, okay, open, aligned. And I also feel that you're a very kind, considerate, wonderful person. And we've had so many wonderful conversations. So yeah, all of that in a bag of cheese.
I love your expressions. I always have to check, what does it mean?
Yes.
I mean, I'm French. Obviously, cheese speaks to me.
What kind of cheese would be? I'm into sheep and goat cheese. I don't know about you.
I love goat cheese. I'm addicted to goat cheese at this point.
Ah. So let me ask you, Beyond the Call has always believed that healing becomes stronger when it's shared through community. And as we prepare for our Heal and Rise convening in New York this September, and continue building internationally with you, how do you see Wonder Woman now in the healing room inspiring that larger global movement, which is what we're looking at our event? It's gone from an event, a proof of concept last year, to this year, a movement.
I don't know. I feel like, with every conversation, we have new ideas. So I would say I can see, more shows like London in November, Paris, Tokyo, let's go wide, the Caribbeans, as we began to discuss. I would say with each conversation, there are new ideas.
Right.
So I'm like, it's more like curiosity that is driving me to see, hey, what can we do more? How can we help more people? Who needs to hear, this podcast, and what stories should we tell? Should we share? What stories are not heard? So, to give you an example, like, I've been working the past few weeks really intensely on preparing the show. And because I'm working on it, I'm having like new ideas coming up that I could not anticipate before. So my intuition is that while we are developing, the podcast, the mini series, there might be opportunities that we are not seeing or that we're not envisioning yet.
Right.
And in 2 or 3 months, we might have some ideas because of the experience we will have with the Warsaw show, the conversations we will have, the interviews we will have in Warsaw with, different people from the art world, like curators, artists, collectors. And then the conversations in New York City. I think every time that you have this collaborative space and people asking questions, it will bring new ideas to help more people. In New York, I can imagine that a lot of international folks will come to the conference, and maybe they will have listened to the podcast, or maybe some will have been at the Warsaw show. So I don't know, but I'm excited to discover what is, awaiting us in the next few
From
months.
February to, what are we in? June, February, March, April, May, June. That's 5 months together.
Yes.
And the growth has been wonderful, and the experience of it has been really easy. So let's imagine we're sitting here 3 years from now. Where do you hope the healing room has traveled? Whose lives has it touched? And what legacy do you hope that this collaboration leaves for future generations? Because that's how I look at it too. Legacy.
That's a beautiful question. Like 3 years from now, I hope we will have had at least 10 shows in the world. I hope the right partner will come to us to support the project, the mission, the expansion, so that we can help more people. I hope we will have developed a women empowerment app on which I worked last year during the AI Mastery at Mind Valley.
Yes.
Which
you won an award.
Yeah, I won an award. I worked on this app with an MIT fellow, and I was in shock when, they announced on the Zoom call that, I had won the award. Me? I'm not technical at all. So if I won an award for an AI app, like everyone can really do amazing stuff. So I really want at one point to develop that. This week I didn't have the time to tell you, but I worked on the affirmation cards.
Yes.
So they're going to be printed next week.
Nice.
In Polish. So
nice.
And I'm very curious to see how people react to that.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel that once we implement one project after the other, there might be some new avenues that just like open up. So I don't know, maybe a book, more podcasts, maybe a TV show. I mean, let's dream big. The goal, honestly, is to help as many, many, many people as possible, whether
Yeah.
through podcast or whether through art or both.
So, any other questions for me? We have about 9 minutes or so.
So I had a question regarding storytelling because you've interviewed so many people. Why do stories matter so much in healing?
Because people can experience, they can live through the experience through the storytelling. If there's no storytelling, then there is nothing for them to hold on to or to connect with. So it's just through the storytelling that people can connect with whatever they may have experienced, or they may know somebody else's experience, or they are experiencing in that time, that can shift and move them to maybe a better place, maybe a different way of thinking, maybe to be able to help somebody else. Storytelling throughout the ages, has been the one thing, whether it's the Bible or the Quran, or the Africans who would center their lives around the stories and hand it down through generations. That's how people get a sense of what was, is, and what's going to be. And the stuff that happens in the future can look back and say, that's where that came from. I have experienced that before. I've heard that before, you know. This is what I need to do now because I've been there before. I came out of it. Now,
So they connect, they understand better through stories.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I have another question for you. You've built an incredible community through Beyond the Call. What have you learned about the importance of belonging in the healing process?
Oof. Good question. Healing is such a special thing. It's such and with the world that we live in right now, with all the things that are coming at us, through us, with us, it's, I'll give you a little story. So at the last convening, we had a healing moment, a healing experience. We asked everybody to please close your eyes, hand to heart and stomach. And our MC took us through a healing experience. And after that healing experience, our panist, steel panist, was supposed to move into a particular tune. But what happened was that he spoke, and in a room about, last year was about healing abuse, in a room that speaks mostly to women, from women to women.
Yeah.
But you have the men there as well. He stood up and he said, I don't know what's going on, but I've got to speak to this. And this was that his mother had passed away a year before, but he is still feeling the impact of it. He's still hurting. And this allows him a little healing, what we just went through. And then he also said, and my sister passed away a month ago. That's a month prior to the funeral. And so he is there with us to play pan, but he's going through these things. So the healing was really almost tangible, right? felt it, and he spoke. Because a lot of men don't speak to their pain.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that, yes. And what was able to happen then was the room. You could feel the room embrace him without even anybody moving. The MC spoke to hearing him, wishing him, covering him with blessings, and you could tell the room was there for him. And he said, I was supposed to play this particular song, but now I'm going to change up the situation now and play this other thing, and he played this song and everybody got up and started dancing, right? That to me was just glorious. That was a testimonial to what we can do with the unity in community as we heal. And I believe more healing is done through sight, sound, smell, taste, touch. And you heal more wholly in my, I'm not a therapist or anything, but this is my feeling. And that's what we try to do with the convening, where we wrap up the speaking, the healing, everything else with the food, the art, the drinks, the dancing, the healing, all of it in one. So when you leave, hopefully that healing level is yes, it's just has risen to the point where everybody leaves at the end of the evening. I switched up the music and everybody leaves sort of dancing out of the place, And that to me is glorious. That is all healing. So there.
What I hear also in what you described is also like witnessing.
Yes.
Like in the presence of others, when we witness someone else's pain, this person feels seen, heard, believed, and they feel that they can live and exist also.
Yes.
So I think the element of witnessing is also important in the part of healing.
That's a very, very good one. Very good one. Now we have about 2 minutes left, and I just want to say something to you, which is, I am so honored to be working with you, to have been able to move something forward within your art installation that means something to you. And but I have a question. When someone leaves the healing room, what's the one sentence you hope stays with them long after they've walked out the door?
I think I would like them to, I don't know if one sentence, it's maybe more a feeling, or maybe both, that they can do it. If they are going through some stuff, I hope they live with a sense of hope. Like, like as if we had built them up a tiny bit, even if it's a tiny bit. Like, like a sense that they can come back to themselves and that they can count on themselves and that everything is going to be all right. That's what I want for them.
Yeah. The one thing that stands out to me is this one sentence, which is, you are not alone.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And breathe.
Yeah.
And so for the closing moment, what would you like to say?
You took my line about gratitude of meeting you. So honestly, of course I'm grateful because I feel that we're building trust, we're following our curiosity, asking questions, discovering each other, throwing ideas all the time, at each other, which is wonderful. It's like a non-stop brainstorming every time we talk, like, what about this? What about that? No, this and that. Oh, so it's kind of, it's amazing. And I'm really excited. I see this as a journey. I see it as a journey of healing for others, but my intuition tells me that it's also a journey of healing for both of us, for each of us.
Yes.
So I'm excited about the upcoming journey. I appreciate every moment that, we are creating together, because it's really a co-creation. And I can't wait to see, where this journey takes us, beyond London, New York, Paris, Tokyo, maybe Dubai.
Yes.
The world is our oyster, Ozzie.
Yeah. Yes. And with that, folks, this has been our very first episode for the Healing Room series, which is found on thecallpodcast.com, healing-room-series. So check it out. This will be the first of about 3. And so I believe that when it gets into London, it'll be the same thing. We have another 3 conversations, and that's how it will go, where we have one convening that's stationed in the US that is now simulcasted across countries, but then the actual journey and of Wonder Woman now moves the whole thing forward to different countries. And I am so pleased to know you. I can't wait to see you here in August and to speak with you in Warsaw soon.
Yes.
By the way, safe journey.
Thank you. Thank you.
And again, easy breezy lemon squeezy.
Okay.
Okay.
Ozzie.
Talk to you soon. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.